Hey guys, it's Miss Foch here, trying a discussion a little bit different. So I will be asking you the question here on this video, kind of preempting it with some details to get you thinking, and then you will give your responses in the discussion area below. So with Refugee, like I said, we're kind of putting a little pause on reading right now. I mean, if you want to continue reading ahead, that's fine with me. But some of your classmates, for one reason or another, maybe just a little behind. And so I see no reason why we need to keep just zipping ahead. We have, plenty of time left in the school year. And originally we were going to be done reading the novel by the beginning of May. But, if it takes us a bit longer, that's okay. We'll be flexible. So with our pause, doesn't mean we're not doing work with Refugee, just means the work will look a little different. So with this discussion question, it's about characters in the novel. I'm going to ask you to make an evaluation here about some of the characters. We know that characters are obviously important in a story. It's why people want to keep reading a story. If the characters are boring, then nobody wants to read that. But there are different levels of importance when it comes to characters. You always have your main characters. Those are the ones that the whole story revolves around. But then you have your minor, or what we might call a supporting character. They help make the story more interesting, but they are not the main focus of the story. So if we think about our story of Refugee, we really have three main characters. We have Joseph, Isabel, and Mahmoud, and every chapter is named after them. But we have characters surrounding those three kids that help make the plot go forward. Remember, the plot are all the events that happen in the course of the story. And it's without those supporting characters, those minor characters. I mean, if it was just really about Joseph, Isabel, and Mahmoud, half of the things would never happen that we've been reading about. So I want to ask you, the question is, in your opinion, who are the most important minor characters in each of these main characters' lives? So think about Joseph. Who is one of the most important minor characters in Joseph's story, that they are really helping to propel his storyline or keep his storyline going forward? And you can't say Hitler, because yeah, Hitler may have been the one starting all of this, but Hitler doesn't actually show up in the story. So it can't be Hitler. But is it Joseph's mother? Are her actions, her words, are they really vital to the plot line for Joseph? Is it his father? Is it Ruthie? Is it the Cuban police officers? Is it the captain of the ship? Is it the firemen on the ship who are actually Nazis? Who, in your opinion, is going to be the most important minor character in Joseph's story? And then think about Isabel's story. It can't be Isabel, but who's the most important minor character there that's helping that plot line move forward? Is it somebody on the boat? Is it her grandfather? Is it her mother? Is it her father? It can't be Fidel Castro, the dictator of Cuba. Again, they might talk about him a lot, and it might be under his laws that they're leaving Cuba in the first place, but he can't be a minor character here. And then last, for Mahmoud. Who would be an important minor character for Mahmoud? Could it be his younger brother? Could it be his father? It can't be the dictator of Syria. Again, these guys aren't actually showing up in the novel. But these are people who are making that storyline go forward. So maybe trying to help you think about minor characters. I'll reference some popular movies and TV shows to try and get you guys to think about that. If you're familiar with The Office, major characters in The Office. You can't have The Office without Michael Scott. I mean, you just can't. I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys felt about the last few seasons, but once Steve Carell left, it was not worth watching. That's just my opinion. You can't have The Office without Dwight. You can't have The Office without the Jim and Pam story. Those are all major characters. Think about those minor characters that only popped into Office episodes once in a while, like Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration. Or who else would be a good minor character? Let me see. Could it also be like Karen? I mean, her storyline kind of comes here and there. She dated Jim, she didn't date Jim. We kind of run into her a few times. How about Joe Bennett? When the company gets bought out. Those would all be minor characters in The Office. If you haven't watched The Office, probably some of these names aren't making a whole lot of sense to you, but trying to come up with some examples here. Maybe let's think about Harry Potter. I realize a lot of you are Harry Potter people. Obviously, main characters in Harry Potter, well, will be Harry Potter. You know, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley. Those are the main characters, but who helps support some of those characters? Like Neville Longbottom. He's not in every single scene. Yes, he plays some really important roles throughout the novels, but in a supporting role. You know, we don't follow him. Luna Lovegood. She gets to be pretty important. We don't meet her until after the first few novels or movies, depending on what you've seen or read. But she does play an important role, but not every single chapter, not every single book. You could argue that probably pretty much any of the professors would be considered minor characters. Maybe not Dumbledore. I mean, he's kind of a big deal in every single book. You know, and like Snape plays super important roles in some books and then not others. But these are all minor characters. But they do help change the story. So your task, once again, and it is coming, by the way, right off of your notes. So this question is from the chapters 28 through 30 notes. So if you've been keeping up with this like you should, then this should be done, or maybe you had to skip it because you didn't understand it. Hopefully this video helps you out. But again, chapter 28 through 30, that's pages 164 through 182. It's literally, I'm going to read the question off of the piece of paper right down here. And so if this is already answered, you can just simply transfer it into Schoology. Just type out your response in Schoology. But the question is, name and describe one minor character in each of the storylines that you think is important to the story. So what minor character in Joseph's story is really helping move that plot along? What minor character in Isabel's story is helping to move that plot along? And what minor character in Mahmoud's story is helping to move that plot along? So you're going to answer in the discussion below. Feel free to watch this video as many times as you need, and feel free to ask me some questions before giving a response. Thanks.